This video shows you how some of the features that you have on R Commander, and then at the end I will show you how you can make a change in R Commander, so every time that you click on the R Commander interface, in case that you created an icon like I did, it goes straight into R Commander rather than having to enter the command every time that you open R. But because I have not done that yet, I just open R, and now, as you might remember, the first thing that we need to do is to type library and then open parentheses, double quote, capital R, CMDR, double quote, close parentheses, and then hit enter. And now you can see that R Commander just opened. So now that we are in the hopefully familiar interface, we're going to have a quick tour of some of the features of R Commander. The first thing that we have is File, and you can see that here we have several options. Perhaps the most important is Change Working Directory. This is basically going to tell to R where do you want to go and save all the files that you will generate. In my case, I created a folder on one of my alternative hard drives, and then under that I created another folder, and this is where I want all my files to go from now on. So you can see that here at the bottom it has an option for select folder. So if I click on that option, then from now on I will save all the files here. So I click on select folder and then it's ready to go. One of the things that you notice after I click on select folder is that now here on the window that says output, you have on red some command, and it says set WD, that stands for set working directory, and then it's saying what is the working directory. In my case it's on the F drive and it's called R Commander _AEA. You can also see that here we have a window that is called R script, and it has the same command that I described before. Now, if you have any experience with SPSS, you may be familiar with a feature of SPSS called a syntax window. So the easiest way to think about this R script is that it is very much like a syntax window. Okay, so we have change working directory. Here you have open script file, save script, and save script as. So that will be the equivalent of having syntax files that then you can run over and over, and you will just have a specific set of features that you will be able to run every time. The next set of commands are related to something called Markdown. You have open, save, and save as. I will speak that more about that in just a moment. Then you have save output and save output as, and then save R workspace and workspace as, and then finally exit. You can exit from Commander and from Commander and R. The next window is to edit, and you have the obvious choices like cut, copy, paste, and delete. Next we have data, and here you can see that we have several very interesting options. We have a new data set, so you can basically enter the data by hand. You can load a data set. That will be like opening a file that you have created in R. You cannot load data files which are not native to R. However, notice that here we have a very interesting option. We can import data, and we can import data from a text file, from SPSS, from SAS version 7, from Minitab, from Stata, and from Excel. So this is awesome because we can import files that we have been able to generate in other packages. I tend to do a lot of importing from both Excel files and SPSS files because I happen to have files in both types of formats. Then we have statistics, and you can see here we have several types of summaries. We have contingency tables. This will be like your crosstabs in SPSS. Here we have means, and you can see that we can do simple t-test, independent, pair t-test, one-way ANOVAs, multi-way ANOVAs, that will be factorial ANOVAs, and then we also have repeated measures ANOVA. Then we can also do proportions. We can do analysis of the variances to make sure that you have equal variances in your test, and I will have more to say during the presentation about that. We have several types of non-parametric tests, and then we have principal components, factor analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, and we can even do cluster analysis, and we have several options here. And then finally we have fit models, and you can see that we can do linear regression, we can do a generalized linear model, multinomial, and we can even do ordinal regression models. Then we have graphs, and I have to say that the quality of the graphs that you can generate with R have no bar. They are, as far as I can tell, some of the best graphs that I have ever seen. Under models, we have several types of models that can help you to do diagnosis and to check the fit of models. This is mostly intended for regression, but you can also use these with SEM models and confirmatory factor analysis. Under distributions, we mostly deal with creation of distributions. And then finally, we have here tools. You can see that we have several types of tools here. And I'm going to spend a few minutes just concentrating on load R Commander plugins. You might remember, if you look at the first video that I put together for how to install R and R Commander, that there are several plugins. As I was doing some research on R Commander, I came across this idea of plugins. And you can see here, here's the link, here's the internet site where I found them, that there are several very interesting plugins that are included, people have generated to install as part of R Commander. There are a couple in particular that I found very interesting, and one that I wanted to find because I didn't seem to find a way to do repeated measures in R Commander when you install the program from scratch. And when I did a search in Google to try to see how to create repeated measures ANOVA in R Commander, one of the hits that I got was this R Commander plugin AR Nova, a tutorial. So I click on that, and I came across this page where they describe how you can install this R Commander plugin AR Nova. And I did go and install that one. And after I went through the installation process, I was able to install that, and now you can see that here under means I have a choice for repeated measures ANOVA. So anyway, going back to these load R Commander plugins, you can see that there are several options, and one that I find very, very interesting is DOE, which stands for Design of Experiments. So I'm going to go through the process of installing that. You can see that all you need to do is to click on that and then click OK, and it will go through. And after it restarts, now you can see that now I have a new option here at the top for design. I have to say that I haven't spent a lot of time looking into this, but from my initial reading of some of the documents, this seems to be more intended for industrial design. So when you are doing more of the industrial design, it probably will be useful for social sciences and education, the kind of areas where we work. But at this point, it may be a little bit of an overkill. Okay, and then finally, the last piece that I want to illustrate in this video is this idea for the Save R Commander options. So when you click on this, you can see that you get a new window, and it has here basically every time that you go and you do something, it will include that as some of the options here. And that is awesome, but I want you to notice what it says here at the bottom. It says that if you are interested in just start R Commander as the default every time that you click on the R Commander interface like I have, all you need to do is to remove the pound signs from these lines that I have here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove them. And what will happen is that when I save it, it will ask me where I want to save it. And the place where it will save it, it's the place where it's going by default. So I did some research, and in my computer, it's going to the folder R, and then R Commander, which you will see in just a moment. And then here, what it will do is to replace this file that you see here. So I click on save, you say yes, and then the next time that you open R Commander, it will start with R Commander rather than going straight into R. So to illustrate, I'm back on my desktop, and I'm going to click on R Commander interface. And after a few seconds, this is the new layout that I have on my desktop. So you can see that not only it opened R, but after it opened R, it went straight into R Commander. So this is where I'm going to stop this video. And then in the next set of videos, I'm going to cover specifically how you can do some statistical analysis, how you can do some graphs, and how you can play with some other features of R Commander. Oops, I almost forgot that I said that I was also going to describe this window, this tab for R Markdown. The R Markdown window tab has all the information that you need to include in order to generate something like an output. So think about this as the similar of an output SPSS file. So once that you finish, and then you will see all the commands that you happen to use during your session, and then when you try to generate an R Markdown, you will be able to in fact generate something like an SPSS session. So now this is where I will stop this video, and then in the next couple of videos I will explain in detail how you can run some specific statistical analysis using R Commander.